Wow. How's the hurricane?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. It's headed this way. I guess it's like a Cat 5 right now
Damn.
in
Oh
the
my God.
in the Gulf, but we're
Hmm.
on, we're on the East Coast, so it's probably it's hard to you've been through it. You've been
Hmm.
they're so unpredictable. They can only, predict so much, and then, you just don't know where it's going to land.
And that's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one totality functioning. So if there was a body, the whole mind, the one mind would be the totality, the whole body, involuntarily functioning, so can't get outside of it to control it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, yeah.
and it's as wild and unpredictable as a hurricane, and that's a beautiful example of Kali too. Kali that wakes up or shakes you out of the dream of volition and free will, and it's very obvious that there is no control. It's too obvious.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to hurricanes, it is too obvious.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean. It's like that destruction, that Kali reminder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
And
a
then
good.
it can be obvious that just even during the day, it's like there's no control over anything. And even thoughts, where did they come from? Emptiness. No one thought to have the thought, and no one chose to make the choice or plan to make the plan. It's so funny how there was ever like a covering of that, where it wasn't obvious that, or where there was the thought that there was free will. But it's so cool how the imagination appears to work. It's like a magnet. So the thoughts magnetize like thoughts to back up the thought, to bring proof or evidence of the thought. So if there's a thought that there's free will, which is just a thought, no one's thinking the thought, it's just happening in the infinite imagination for no one. There can be another thought backing it up with kind of a selective thinking of bringing evidence that you have control. So, and it'll ignore the gaps when there wasn't control, when there's moments where shit's all fucked up, or the plans fall apart, or there's a thought, I'm going to go do this, and the body does the opposite. Like it can just select the thoughts where, something, a desire, you know manifested or something like that, just to prove that, oh, I have control. And yeah. But that's just a beautiful magic show, and it's all has infinite meaning. So it has no meaning, and no one's doing it, and it's just part of the magic show. And then it can just be so obvious that there never has been control, and there never was a me to get rid of. No doer already. I wanted to read what I posted on Facebook today. In the infinite imagination of 10,000 things that don't exist, Lao Tzu quoted the Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. Yet, he wrote 81 chapters about it. This unspeakable is the speaking, can't be said because it is the saying, can't be seen because it is the seeing. It's wordless, yet it is the words. It can't be described, but it is the description. What is being pointed to is the pointer, which is the pointing. It's everything immutably, which isn't. So the seeking, the the seeker is what's sought, and the looking is what's looked for. The looker is what's being looked for. So that's why it can't be found, is because you are it already, and you can't get outside of yourself to find yourself. So it's like, the dog chasing its tail, or like the fish looking for water, and it's just too close and too obvious and too easy that it could be easily overlooked by being everything. Literally whatever is appearing immediately is what's being looked for, is what's being longed for. It is God. Everything's God. This is God's mind. This is the one mind, and it's not separate from itself. It can't be separate from itself to use the mind to find it, because it just is. So that's why the seeking is futile. And seeking is just a thought in the infinite imagination. And you are the substratum, or the totality of the imagination, permeating everything, appearing as thoughts, appearing as ideas and concepts, which are, appear to be things, appear to be bodies, appear to be chairs and screens and animals and trees, which is all mental. It's all just an appearance in the imagination. It's all conceptual sensations, which is the way the noumenal, which is appearing as phenomenal, can experience, because you are nothing. So through the mirror of opposite, through the mirror of something, of apparent objects or things or form, the formless, which can't be known and can't be seen, can sense its non-self, and make love to itself through everything, through the taste of chocolate, through the sound of a voice, through every appearance. And there is no one seeing it. You're not in the body, you're not seeing behind the eyes. The seeing is being. So it's just beingness. Whatever's being sensed is and isn't, because it's not really happening. It's not real. It's just like a daydream, or a dream at night. It's just spontaneously appearing. No one's controlling it, no one's doing it. It's just appearing and disappearing for no one. No one's in it. No one's even perceiving it. It's just seamlessly being. And when it's not looked for, so the looking is what appears to separate it, which is a thought. So the thought that appears to divide, if there's a thought that appears to divide, such as I'm an individual, there can be an intuitive alarm system that's the contraction, that's screaming. It's like an alarm clock. It's screaming, wake up. This isn't real. This isn't happening. This is not separate. That's all it's doing. So whenever a thought is divided, that alarm system will come in to scream. And then when there's an expansive sensation, there is no separated thought. So it's a beautiful intuitive navigation system, GPS system, that just it's an alarm clock to wake you up from the dream. And it's either recognized or not. It doesn't need to happen. You are God. You don't need to wake up from the dream. You're already everything. You're already total abundance and immaculate and pure and immortal and invincible and untouched and untainted and without qualities, completely still, permanent. You don't need anything. This is just a beautiful dream or way of playing Leela, the play. So, yeah, without that contraction, how would you wake up from the dream if it wasn't uncomfortable? So it's really beautiful. And then what would freedom be like if there wasn't the thought of being bound, you know? All of it's just stunning. And it's all just a beautiful miracle, magic show. Because how is nothing appearing as everything? It's just amazing. No creator, no purpose, no meaning, no beginning, no end. Can't be known because you can't get outside to know it. You can't get outside of everything to know it. You are the unknown. Just like if the analogy of being the only one in the world, you wouldn't know what you are because you wouldn't have anything to compare yourself to. But it's beautiful because through the mirror of opposite, through the mirror of, form and color and an apparent contrast, you can sense yourself. Just like in deep sleep, awareness can't be aware of itself because it's all alone. But through this apparition or this imagination, which people call consciousness, which is one, there is no separation from the absolute and the relative. It's one. But through this appearance, you can sense yourself. You can make love and experience what it's like to be when you're not, because you aren't. You don't exist. But how cool is this? And through every sensation, it can appear real. It's just amazing. Just like without the sense of touch, there wouldn't be solid. Solid is the sense of touch. It's just a sense. It's mental. It's imagination. So yeah, we can talk about that and the so there is no me to get rid of. That's the dilemma. And it's not even a dilemma. The dilemma is there's no dilemma. There's no me to get rid of. It's already this. It's immediately whatever's appearing to happen. It's sitting in a chair looking at a screen. It's, laying in bed looking at a screen. That's it. That's everything. And even this isn't happening. But there's no before this. There's no after this. There's no beyond this. There's no world outside of this. That's all imagination. It's just an abstraction of the infinite one mind appearing as this. Even if there's a thought of the world, it's just this appearing as the thought of the world. And it's not real. It doesn't exist. So yeah, the even the looking for this that already is just this already free. So the looking is what's longed for. The me that's trying to be gotten rid of is what's looked for, is what's longed for. It's literally everything. It's a speck of dust in the corner, which contains everything that could possibly be or not be in the infinite imagination that people call the universe. Everything, every minute detail is everything. And it's singular. So hand is everything. Everything that could possibly be or not be. And it's singular without other, without before or after. It's immediate. It's immediate. And it's total peace. It's totally still. It's not moving. It's empty. Appearing as sounds, appearing as faces on a screen. And it's total peace already. It's contentment already, even if there's pain. Yeah, Catherine, I'm glad you made it. I'm happy you're here. Um, yeah, so we can
It's good
chat
to
about
be here.
anything. Oh, good. Yay.
It's dark in the room, so I won't
Okay.
put the video on. Yes, it's just I don't know. It's lovely to hear you speak, and I don't feel that there's a me that has to be got rid of anymore.
Yay.
And it's not needed. What is exactly as it is. It might not be this empty fullness or what I hear, but I hear it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's heard, but as a lullaby or a caress of wind on the cheek or the sun rising is just
Yeah.
yeah. So there is a peace here, and there's even though there might be this body seems separate to the wall and to the bed and the ceiling, there's no fighting. It's as it is, in a way, whole and complete. There's no yes, it's just as it is.
Yeah.
And there could be a story, or I had an accident, and there has been a story, because I had talked to Kenneth Madden. It's like the survival instinct kicks in and gets you out of trouble and through pain, and what a joy to crawl on all fours and see a tiny slug and flies, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I guess it's an experience, but it's fine. I'm happy with how things are. I don't need it. Before the message was heard as, yes, there's a me to get rid of, so that can what is spoken about can never be known, but there's still the idea that it could be known if there's no I don't know if you can hear me,
Oh,
but
I can. Yeah.
yes,
Beautiful.
but yeah, there's such a peace and a joy with what is, even when there is pain. And it's not just that. I mean, moaning freely happens.
Yeah.
Being annoyed freely happens, and it's
Yeah.
there's no, in a way, there might still be, I don't know, it's just there's no filter, and everything is just so free to be as it is, and there's no other world. How could it be any different? you know
Totally.
if people comment, oh, such bad luck, and oh, that's awful, and I have to reply, no. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
full on
And it's
living.
wild.
It has woken me up in a way out of slumber, and I can
Yeah.
say me because that's how it's lived.
Mm-hmm.
And it's yeah, yeah, I just wanted to express that, and I just love listening to you. It's
Oh, I love listening to you. You're amazing. And you're so eloquent with you, so poetic with the way you speak.
oh, really?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
So beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, it's just stunning. This life is just so full on alive. And Connie and I were just talking about how because there's so in the story, which didn't happen, it's so funny because it's so literal. It's literally just this. Like you can't prove that 5 minutes ago happened. But apparently a hurricane. I live in the mountains, by the way, far away from a beach, which is
Right.
it's so fun to talk about because it's very obvious there's no correlation to anything. Nothing makes sense. Nothing has meaning. Nothing makes sense ever. Nothing can be predicted. Nothing can ever be known. Ever. It's unpredictable. It's absolutely wild. So I,
Yes.
I live up on the top of a mountain in a fucking hurricane. Just category 4, kicked everything's ass. Like it that destroyed all the towns. The towns around me floated down the
Right.
river, like no buildings left. And Jenny just happened to land on this mountain where there was no dams or rivers or mudslides nearby. So the house is still standing. But it's very obvious, especially, when in that, it's like there is no control whatsoever because, you know, um, you are the totality of everything. You can't get outside of everything to control it. It's like the analogy of the body that's involuntarily functioning, like the heart beating, the blood pumping without controlling it, no one doing it. It's just happening. So this is just wild chaos happening. And so yeah, accidents happening and then it didn't even happen. Like where is it now? It's just this. It's sitting and looking at a screen. It's so crazy.
Exactly, exactly. It's only in the sharing. I mean, in a
Yeah.
way, here is just lying in bed and then meeting someone new in the bedroom and
Yeah.
chatting. And yes, I think it's just I can I can see that uh, as soon as it's gone, it's already as soon as it appears, it's already gone. But it feels like this is really happening. This talking is really happening. So there's a sense of realness about it. Whereas what I hear is, I guess, both real and unreal. And but I'm not searching. It's just why would I search for that's gone.
Yeah, for what already is. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and it is as it is, and maybe 2 minutes later or whatever time is, it is always as it is, whether it appears as real and unreal, or totally real or totally unreal.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
even matter. Yeah.
yes,
And that's it. That's the end of resistance. And when there's the end of resistance, there's everything free to be what is. And then there's no more
yes,
looking.
yes, yeah,
Which is the freedom. So it's like which is a non-event. It's like wow, okay, it's just this.
yes,
And that's the gimmick of enlightenment. It's all a fantasy that's not it's just a thought, and you are the substratum from which thoughts arise, which is not separate. So it's not even a substratum, but I'm using that word just to say that you are the immaculate nothing from which everything's appearing and disappearing, which isn't even happening. So there is no me to get rid of. You've never been a me. There never has been a me. Even if you look for one, you can't find it. It's silent. It's empty. It's
I
still.
think I think there's such beyond laziness that has come, that
Mm-hmm.
there's not even a wish to look for where's the eye. it's like
Yes,
it's
exactly.
like
There's
I
nothing to
don't
do,
I
literally.
don't give a f about it.
Ah, I
It's
love
like
it.
uh, yeah, it's like, even like to a child, what you say wouldn't mean anything, and it's just playing. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, it's just playing.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
or
me,
suffering, or full on in pain, and
mm-hmm.
um
It's all playful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Everything's free to play. Everything's free to be. Pain, sadness,
Yeah.
anger. The first time after it was obvious there's no me, I got annoyed. I was turned on by it. I was so excited. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Like to be annoyed.
Oh, yes. It's a wow moment. It's like being surprised by what comes out.
Yes, it is a surprise, and you're
That
not even
anger
doing it.
flowing so freely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And
It's
in
like,
even expressions of love here when nurses
yeah.
walk in and there's such a expression of yeah, it's
And
whatever. It's not defined. There's no need for a definition, and
yes, it's just free to
uh,
be.
it's just loving and kissing and
Yay. Yeah, there's an in loveness with whatever's appearing to happen, even if it's slipping and falling or it's
yeah.
great.
I mean, it just happened by itself anyway. It's like there's sort of looking at a wet plank of wood,
Uh-huh.
crossing a little a narrow bridge over a little stream, and seeing the Wellington boot step on that wet plank, and
Mm-hmm.
then somehow ending up in the water, and somehow making my way out and crawling
Wow.
for 40
Oh my
minutes.
gosh.
Yeah, I
I
know.
didn't even know that's what happened and I just said it. So you
Yeah,
slipped and fell.
it's
Okay.
like I
Yeah.
I wanted adventure, and the adventure hasn't. I don't have any say in what it is.
Yeah. It is a total
Oh,
adventure.
it's amazing!
It's
It's amazing.
unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's so alive and just,
but there's no thought, no, like, no fear, no worry. Just the idea. I don't want my daughters to spend years wondering where I am, or someone finding a body floating. you know, I
oh.
didn't drown. No, it wasn't up. I would just broke, fractured the tibia and broke ribs. No.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
It's just like, why not? It's a theater play, and I was the movie heroine of my story. It's like uh, getting myself out of dire straits. So it's just, oh, life kicked in. It's just life kicked in. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Aliveness kicked in.
it's beautiful and it's
Yeah.
total perfection. Same here when the hurricane that didn't happen
Oh
was
yes.
when the flood was starting to come into my house. There was a total peace of it still. It was very obvious it wasn't happening. It was still, and
Right.
there was a joy, there was an excitement, butterflies and stomach, I was it was a joy.
Oh, so you did
And
get affected by floods then?
yeah, but it was so beautiful. So the body was the survival stuff was happening where it was like, okay, boys, go get the towels, all the
Yeah,
blankets, everything
that's
from
it.
the
All
closet.
practical stuff.
Yeah. And so then we were
Yes.
barricading the doors and it was so cool because right when the water started coming in, the rain stopped. And I was like, oh my God, it's
Yes. Yeah.
magic. It's so
Yeah.
magical. Yeah. And it was so obvious it wasn't happening. I was cracking up laughing because I was looking at my cat and he was laying there yawning and stretching. I mean, literally nothing happening, you know?
Yes. 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 Yeah. Be-
It's so
Before
great.
I had my accident, I was on the in Brittany, in France, and on the at the beach there is really for surfers. I've never seen waves like it in the UK. Huge waves, but I still
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to go in the water,
Hmm.
and I went a couple of times, and the second time, it's like there was nothing I could do. Like I was a piece of straw. The wave took me over, crushed me to the seabed, but it goes away quickly. Again, there's just complete, like, no, nobody being scared.
Mm-hmm.
After the wave went, I just got up and a bit wobbly, Gray's knees, but it's just like, yeah, no, there was nothing happened. I guess nothing happened. There's still the body taken over by the wave, completely
Yeah.
underwater. But in the past, I would have panicked and scared I would drown, and that wasn't there at all. So
Yeah,
I
it's so
don't know.
beautiful.
It's magical, I guess, in a way. Is
It is. It's just, and it's not even happening. It's just wild. Yeah. Even when it appears real, it's not. It's just, which is part of the play. The Leela. Yeah.
Mm.
It's amazing. Yeah, I've had that happen too, where the wave knocked me down to the ground, and then I rode the ground all the way to the shore, and it was just like, wow, you can't resist anything. You know, what you resist persists. It'll
Yeah, it's that resistance that is not there.
yeah.
Even when I bought a camper van just before I traveled, a new one, and I felt a lot of doubt in me, like, no, I'm not doing the right thing, and I just couldn't stop myself. It's like there's literally no power, no say. There's like a voice or a feeling that this is there's something not quite right, and yet exchange of money happens, exchange of papers, and exchange, of van, and it just seemed to be completely happening without, uh, despite
Mm-hmm.
despite a voice maybe trying to warn it's not the right thing to do, and it's just like that wave. It's just a wave, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just
But anyway,
happening. That's
I've
the
already
appearance.
I've already told that same story on with Ken.
Yeah, that is so
But
great.
I think
Yeah,
because it's free to say, it's free to tell stories.
it
It doesn't
is.
matter if it's real or not. It's just that freedom. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is a storyteller. There's nothing else to talk about but stories. You would just be, every talk is a story, and every word is contradicts itself because it implies an opposite. It's like the wordless appearing as word, which is beautiful.
Mm.
And it is the word. The word is everything. Even if, it's singular, it's
Wow,
everything.
yes.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, so all the stories are it, all the
wow.
everything.
I mean, that sounds a bit like the Genesis or the Bible, and the word was.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's the absolute appearing relative. It's the noumenal appearing phenomenal. It's this is the way that you that can't be seen or can't be known and is formless and wordless and storyless can appear as being, through this imagination of infinite concepts, ideas, words, stories, thoughts, which everything appearing is a concept in the imagination. And it's amazing. It's
Mm.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful, all of it, everything. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. How exciting. Yay. It's so amazing. Yeah, no cause and effect. Oh my gosh, that's total freedom. No time. Wow. No one seeking. Wow.
Well, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Fine.
Yay.
So, so right as I heard you saying meaning, meaningless, and it is the same as infinite meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Never understood this. How come? What does this mean? How?
Well, so
Take an
everything,
example. Take an
okay.
example to illustrate this, please.
Yeah. So everything is everything. Everything, I'm just going to use words. Everything contains everything that could possibly be or not be because it's all God. So even a speck of dust in the corner is God is everything that could possibly be or not be, and it's singular, which would be infinite information, infinite, um, potential and the imagination. It's all one. It's not separate. So it would be everything. So like a cup of tea is not limited to being just a cup of tea. It's everything. It's everything. Um, it's infinite potential, and it has infinite meaning. It can be anything. It's just energy appearing as a cup of tea, and it's malleable, it's changeable, it's transient, and it would have infinite meaning. Even logically, you know, even logically, when there's a identification with an individual, each individual would have a different definition for one thing. It would have different meaning according to different relative perspectives or conditioning or whatever. Um, this destroys all of that. There is no conditioning. There is no perspective. There is no individual. But just using that as an example, like even in the you know before it's obvious that there's no me and no meaning, it's still like it would be infinite information, which would cancel itself out to zero, just like quantum physics. The everything added up cancels itself out to zero, nothing. So everything is nothing, and it can't be defined or known, or it can't be proven. There's no evidence of it because there's um yeah. So that's what I mean by the infinite. It's all infinite. So yeah, no meaning. And it's playful. It's playful because it can mean anything. So there's no facts. It's all fiction. So everything's a joke, basically. It's all just fairy tales, talking fairy tales, which is playful and fun. And yeah, because nothing can be proven or known. So everything is just bullshit, basically. Which is total freedom. Good thing, if it was facts and if it was meaningful and there was a purpose, that would be a prison, that would be limited or bound, but yeah, that's not even possible. Nothing exists for it to be divided or limited or bound. And it's so expansive and infinite that you can't get outside of it to know it, because you are that. You are the infinite. Yeah, everything is everything is everything is everything. It's just like swallowing itself, everything. every word is everything. It's singular. It's everything that could possibly be or not be. Every sound, every sensation is everything. It's all God. Everything's God. Everything you see, hear, touch, taste, smell, every thought, every concept, every idea is the infinite imagination that is itself alone, so it can't know itself.
Do you mean that every grain of sand contains the whole universe?
Yeah, but
A poet said it like this, Milton, I do not know a poet. Every single grain of sand contains the whole universe. That is, everything contains everything.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And you are it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
But this is the mind can't comprehend.
No.
Everything
Because
contains
you
everything.
can't, because you are the one mind. So you can't use the one mind to figure out the one mind.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So it's just free to be unknown and what it is, whatever's appearing to happen is everything immediately. And it's not even happening. That's the crazy part. It's not even happening. It's over before it begins. And it never happened. It's like a movie that was shot and already played and never happened.
When you say it never happened, you mean it is it is as if it is the same as in a dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I love how there's so many clues screaming it every day, all the time, like everything's screaming this, but there's so many clues like deep sleep where, nothing can't be aware of itself because it is itself. And then there's the waking up, which is like what people call consciousness, which is what I call the imagination or God's mind, like where that which can't know itself, can't be aware of itself, can experience what it's like to be through the imagination that's not real. It's not really happening. And so, and then the dream at night is a clue because it's just autopilot. It's no one's doing it. No one's controlling it. It's just spontaneously happening without cause, without purpose, without script, without destination, without destiny, without time. And then if you really investigate at the dream, what's perceiving the dream?
Consciousness.
It would just be one pure, what people call pure awareness, which is uninvolved. Yeah. It's uninvolved, but it's like illuminating what's appearing to happen, and it's not separate from it. It's like that pure attention that's uninvolved, that's immaculate, untouched, untainted, permanent, from which everything's appearing. It's one with what's appearing. It's not separate, but it's the sensations is the interface from which this that can't be seen or known can experience. But it's not an experiencer. It's not nothing's actually happening. Nothing's actually being done. There's no doer. There's no experiencer. It's nothing.
Can you please compare and contrast the difference between dreaming and the wakeful state?
Well,
Both are dreams, but what's the difference, and what is a
so the
what is
dream at
a
night and the dream during the day, is that what you mean? Yeah,
no,
there's no
I mean the dream at night and the other God dreaming this universe. What's the difference?
oh, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's just an appearance in the imagination. It's just an appearance. That it's not real. It's like an apparition or a hallucination or
because in the at night in the dream it is God which is dreaming.
yeah, this is the same.
It's basically the same consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it because there's so many clues that are screaming it. Like the clue at night is the clue that this is just being dreamed or imagined. You know, it's not real. It's not really happening. Just like a dream at night, you wake up from the dream, you're like, wow, it didn't happen. And it's so cool because like the nightmare, when there's a nightmare, there's so much contraction that it wakes you up from the dream. You know, so the contraction is the intuitive GPS system that wakes you up from the dream. And it's like, it's screaming, wake up. This isn't real. This isn't happening. This is not separate. So whenever there's a thought that's dividing, there's a sensation of contraction. And that's the intuition saying it's not divided. It's not happening.
So
And
the only difference I would say is the dream at night lasts for a few hours, whereas this dream it lasts for for many years. This is the only difference.
yeah, but it did, but there's not even many years. That's the crazy part is when it's because you can, I mean, you can't even prove that you just said that. That didn't even happen. There's not, I mean, these words are disappearing as they're coming out. It's just over and done. It's like the Big Bang right now, you know? It's not even happening. There was no life, there was no story. It's all just infinite imagination just playing. And it can appear as linear time. That's how beautiful and brilliant this infinite intelligence is of the imagination, because it's just a single frame. Like I love the analogy of the projector or the movie projector. It's just a single frame. But when there's a reference point to memory, which is just new information arising now, but when there's a reference point of it being something that appeared in the past, it makes it look linear or like continuity, but it's not. But that's the illusion. It's not. It's continuous. It's just this immediately, this word appearing right now. That's it. And nothing happened before. There was no life. You never had a thought. You never had a fear. You never had a story. You never had a crazy life. Oh my gosh. Total freedom. It's amazing. It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant. I remember when, which is new information arising now, when there was that obviousness of, oh my God, I never had a past. Because like there can be so much, you know, resisting what is, which makes it appear to be sticky, to glue to it, which is just a thought. So the resistance of a thought is the thought, which is arising in empty imagination for no one. But so there's no one identifying with it, but the identity is the thought. So, which like the magnet, it you know, attracts other thoughts to bring it proof that it exists, you know. But I remember when I realized the whole past didn't happen. Oh my God. It was like a backpack, a heavy backpack falling off of my back. of a story that didn't happen. Like I remember, like, because in the story there was like an abusive stepdad, there was, psycho lovers, abusive people, and what I called trauma, and it was just like, holy shit, none of that happened. Oh my God. And it just felt light, and it was like, wow, it's just this. It's so literal. And even this isn't happening. This is ephemeral. It's just imaginary. This is God's mind. This is God's imagination. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's amazing. And it's infinite potential and infinite. It's like, it can be anything. So like, even the memory, is changes, is malleable, is new information arising now, is this, is timeless, is new.
And everything is perfect just as it is. All the rape, the corruption, the torture, the repressive government, everything is perfect just the way it is.
It's total perfection, yeah. Because it's all God. And it's not even happening, yeah. So it's like whatever's happening is just immaculate. Yeah, even if it's torture, even if it's rape, all of it. Yeah.
No right and wrong.
No right or wrong. No cause and effect, and it didn't even happen. It's just amazing. And even if it's appearing, it's not even happening. So you're totally invincible. You're not in the body. You don't even need a body. The body is being imagined. The mind is not in the body. The body's being imagined by the one mind. So the body doesn't even compute information. It's amazing.
In fact, there's no mind, there is only thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thoughts, concepts, and the imagination it's all mental.
I read the Kabbalion.
Yes. I was just about to quote the Kabbalion.
But when I read it, it says everything is mental. But it was not clear that God, it was not clear that it is God dreaming the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, everything is mental. It was not clear in the Kabbalion. It was not clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had some clues in there, though. It had some clues. Yeah.
Because at first, when I read, not a Kabbalion, but when I read certain authors, that everything is mental, I thought that I am dreaming I am dreaming my environment. And the question was, if I am dreaming, how can the other one dream the same thing?
Oh, funny.
It was Eckhart Tolle which gives the answer, but much later, that it is God dreaming the universe. If God dreams the universe, then we will see, each character will see the same environment if they are nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one. Yeah. One imagination. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One imagination. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. That's so cool.
What resonates for me, the seeking has stopped after I searched for 40 years, but now the seeking has stopped. And what resonates me is the following. I don't mind what happens, not wishing for stuff to be other than what they are, not complaining, to be okay with whatever is, even if it is not okay. This is what resonates for me now.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's it. It's just free to be. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. When there's no looking, it just is.
yeah.
Which when there is looking, it just is too. But you know what I mean? It's just obvious that it's whole and it's one. It's not separate. Yeah. And it's peaceful.
Peace. Yeah, this is the
Mm-hmm.
peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you never talk about reincarnation. What your what is your stand on
Yeah.
reincarnation?
I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe any of that anymore. Everything died. Everything got destroyed in the dumpster fire. I used to believe in reincarnation. I used to be like, oh my God, I gotta hurry up and liberate so I don't have to fucking come back to this stupid place again. And then
Yeah.
and then which is so cute because it's just freedom saying, freedom that's already free, saying, I don't want to come back to here that doesn't even exist. Um and then I used to believe in past lives. I used to believe in karma, all that stuff, and everything got destroyed. I don't believe in any of it anymore. Yeah. It's just, I mean, this isn't even happening. So there's not even anyone living a life already. So how could there be one after this if there's not even this? Yeah.
So the reincarnation, I also I believe in reincarnation. Being a Hindu,
Mm-hmm.
now I don't believe in it. And if you teachers, if you people have said it's, uh, mm, when we die, the memories, the thought forms, they are stored in the Akashic record. And these tendencies are mixed and they are combined in certain arrangement, and this is what is given to newborn babies. So each baby who is born is not a clean slate. It has certain tendencies of others, not necessarily one person, but maybe of two or more person. And that's why you may have twins, but one become a criminal and the other become a saint. And that is why some people remember past lives, but it is not their past lives. It is the past lives of several people. Never heard of that?
I have, yeah. I've heard all that.
No. This theory of the the karmas are mixed, and these karmas are given to newborn babies. So every baby is not born with a clean slate.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that. It's all infinite potential too. So even a character, there's no such thing as like a bound solid thing called a character because it's infinite qualities appearing as, it can be anything. So it can change. It's subject to change. It has the infinite meaning, which can appear as anything. It's malleable, transient, and it's not stuck. It's not limited. It's all limitless. Everything's limitless. So even if you look for a character, you can't box one in. You can't, because it's spontaneous. It's like all sorts of qualities appearing and disappearing. And it's not just bound by this, that would just be an idea or concept of someone or something, which is still transient and can change, so it's just like the infinite imagination would have infinite ideas, infinite concepts, infinite qualities. So it can appear as anything. It's not bound at all. It would have like anything could happen. Anything that could possibly be or not be imagined is in the infinite imagination. So I don't see anything. I think that's just it's just one of those concepts and ideas in the imagination that tries to make sense of it, or gives it a story of like it's that can appear to divide it or appear to have something to be scared of or to fear, or a higher power to believe in, or something to attain, or something to, which is just the game of hide and seek. It's just God playing hide and seek, because when there's a fear of absence, which is already absent, that's how it can be avoided to liberate, or to see that there's already no me. So there can be tons of stories that happen that come up in the imagination that play hide and seek, just like that one that I had that was like, oh my God, I have to hurry up and liberate so I don't come back. I don't ever want to come back, and it's like, and that's the
Me
game
too.
of hide and seek. Yeah, that's the game of
Yeah.
hide and seek, though, because that's where it hides, where it's like, I got to find something out there in the future so that I don't have to come back in the future that doesn't exist. There's no time. There's no time to come back here. There is no here. And there's no future life to come back to this, which doesn't exist. None of it exists. None of it's even happening. So it's all make-believe.
So what happens when we die then? What happens?
I don't know. I had this, I don't know. But, the death of what people call awakening, which is the recognition that there never has been a me, that this doesn't exist. There never has been an individual to wake up from the dream, is apparently the same thing that happens at the death of the body, when, if it didn't happen during the life of the body, that's a similar thing. I used to study NDEs, and where people died flatlined and then came back to life or something, and they all had a similar story where they recognized that they never had a life, there never was a me, there was no separation, and that they're God or whatever, and then, just like in deep sleep, where pure awareness is not aware of itself. It can't get outside to know, but through this appearance of the dream, it can experience what it's like to be, because it's not. So the beingness is the imagination, is the dream of this appearance. So it's eternal. It never dies. There is no death. The body disappears, but you don't. You never die. You're permanent, infinite, immortal. So infinite. And you can't get outside of yourself to know or experience yourself. Because you're all alone.
Yeah, this is what I suspected, that when the body dies, it is the same as becoming enlightened.
Of what? Deep sleep, is that what you said?
No, no, no.
No.
When somebody dies, it is the same as enlightenment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because
Yeah.
the ego disappears.
Yeah, it's inevitable. And enlightenment isn't, and it's already this too. It's already whatever's appearing to happen is enlightenment. So it's not an event, but the realization that there is no me, what people call liberation, is inevitable. It either happens while the body's still, appearing, or it happens when the body's disappearing. Yeah.
And do you believe in higher planes, higher dimension?
No, not anymore. I used to. Oh my God, I used to study all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to geek out on all of it. Yeah. Nothing makes sense anymore and has meaning, or it's all fairy tale, and it's just all just for fun. Yeah, no higher, no lower, no authority, no rules, no dimensions, no time, no space, no causality, no nothing. This destroys all of it, and it is total anarchy. Yeah, nothing to attain, nothing to it can appear gradual, it can appear as a deepening, but even that didn't happen because there's no time. It's amazing. Yeah. No higher authority or higher, no levels of consciousness. It's all the same. It's everything. Everything's everything. Yeah. So cool. Yeah, just like in deep sleep, nothing can't know itself, but something was aware of that there was deep sleep. And just like when you ask, what was I before I was born, even though you weren't born, but even that question, and all you get is nothing, emptiness, just void, but something's aware of that. Not a thing, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's God talking to itself.
Yeah.
It's so cool. The unknown trying to know. That's so great. Yay. How amazing. I still want to order that book you mentioned.
God dreaming
Mm-hmm.
the
But
universe.
yeah, it looked like 7 volumes or something, or more than one.
14 volumes, so
14.
16.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Because I looked it up used, but I couldn't tell if I was only getting one book or all of them. So I'm like, okay, I need to find
No,
out how to get all of them. What?
no. You order the first one. The first one has nothing. The other is just written volume 2, 3, 4, etc. But the first volume is not volume 1. It has no volume.
Oh, okay. So just get the
There's-
first one.
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome.
there's no volume on it. It is not written volume 1.
Okay. Okay.
No. Whereas the others are written volume 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, I don't know. So you
Oh,
order
wow.
the first one, try the first one first, the
Okay.
one which has no volume.
Awesome. Okay, I'll do that. How fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love reading. I love yeah, it's just so fun. All of this, everything is just so amazing. It's so amazing. I love
You have read Astavaka Gita?
yes.
Yeah.
I think like 6 times or something crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that there's like tea stains all over it and it's all bent up and like warped.
But the other books of the Upanishad you have read?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a huge library. For a while after when it was obvious there's no me, I didn't look at any of that for a while, but then I've been so excited about going back and reading some of these and just like discerning or seeing, what's being sensed right now. It's so exciting. And all of it's beautiful, all of it's total perfection, just God talking to itself and the imagination. It's all just information and concepts, exploring itself, as Alan Watts would say. Yeah.
And in the Upanishad, in Hinduism, how many places they refer to God dreaming the universe? How many places?
Oh, I
If,
didn't see that very much. That was something that in 2018 when I had that explosion happen, that was like immediate uh, came through. It was like, oh my God, this is God dreaming this, or this is God's imagination. That was so I hadn't really. Where have you seen it besides that book?
Robert Spira?
Okay. I haven't listened to him very much. I think I've only listened to like 1 or 2 videos.
Yeah.
Okay. How cool. Yeah. It's all saying the same things,
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Alan Watts had a few little hints here and there. But I never really had heard it straight up like that, like this is wait a minute. Hong Po or whatever, the Buddhist, he had in his book, This is God's Mind. I'll text it to you. I'll message you that one. Yeah. But I didn't read that until recently. Yeah, it was just very obvious. And it was very obvious that I'm not in the body. I don't even need a body, that I'm the totality of everything, that this is just an appearance. That I'm God imagining this or whatever, that everything is God. The scene is the seer. Everything is it.
Or you veg.
Vegetarian?
Yeah.
No, I eat meat every day. But I in 2018 I was vegan, but there's
But-
no, what were we gonna say?
But if you feel that an animal is you're one with the animal, how can you eat it?
Well, just like what we were saying before about the rape and the war and it's not even happening, it's God eating itself, God fucking himself in an appearance, in the imagination that's not even happening. So it's like when there was a hardcore I did feel that way apparently in the story, you know, a long time ago. And I was vegan for a long time, and the body did not like that. The body
Yeah.
was apparently getting angry and having deficiencies. And I went to a naturopathic doctor, and she was like, you know what? You need a hamburger. And then I went out and ate a hamburger, and it was the best feeling ever. The body loved it. So this body wants meat, and yeah.
There was one teacher, only one, who 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 was exactly like you. She was vegetarian, but she was ill always. And the doctor told her to eat meat, and when she eat meat, she is okay.
Yeah.
And then she made a video on this. Why?
Yeah. Ed, is it
Why?
Ede? Ede? ERE?
Yeah, Iri. Yeah.
I love her. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Yep. Totally. Yeah, and there's no correlation. There's no cause and effect. So even that is singular. But the awakening does not depend on diet, or there's not even really a body. This is all just mental concepts, you know. So there's no rules, no way to attain anything that already is. It's already everything. So you can be a hardcore carnivore and wake up. You know, you can be just like Nisargadatta. I loved how he broke all the myths of that, where he was a chain smoker that ate meat and just like yelled every day, you know, was like abrasively screaming this, you know. And then there's like Sri Ramana that's sitting in a diaper, half naked, silent, you know. It's like, and then Papaji, who's having a party all the time, he was having a party and just yeah, it's everything. It's everything. It's without qualities appearing as infinite qualities. So there's no rhyme or reason, there's no meaning, there's no way to become what already is everything. There's no rules to this. You don't need to meditate in a cave. You don't need to do self-inquiry. You can be a crackhead laying in a ditch and you just recognize there's no me. It's just obvious. just like with me in 2018, I wasn't doing self-inquiry. I had never heard of non-duality. I wasn't trying to be enlightened. And all of a sudden, a spontaneous glimpse where there was nothing, there was everything. It was infinite. It was no one was there. Nothing had ever happened. And then all of a sudden the mind came in to measure what had happened. And it looked like I was in the car with my best friend. It looked like I had a seizure. She pulled over and I was laughing and crying. I couldn't explain what had happened. And then after that, it was instant liberation. And I even looked it up on the computer, what the hell happened to me. And it said spontaneous enlightenment. And I was like, why? I wasn't trying to do that. And so that's what I mean. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's already this. It's already this. It was just obvious. Yeah. So yeah, meat or no meat.
And what about some teachers? One is Muji. Muji. You know Muji?
Yeah.
So I like to, I used to like Muji, but then I heard some 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 teacher saying that he is sleeping with his own disciple, and, and
That's great.
I stopped watching his videos from then.
Oh,
So
funny.
what is your thought about that? Is it okay for
Everything's
Muji?
okay. Everything's okay. Yeah, it's okay to be naughty. It's okay to be perverted. God is perverted. God is lust. God is, a prostitute. Everything that appears is God. And it's not even real. It's not even really happening. But, there's also, who knows what's, well, first of all, he doesn't exist because where is it? Like the observer effect in quantum physics, there's nothing beyond the walls. There's no one out there in the world. So Muji is just a concept in the imagination. But even if that was happening, that's total perfection already. Nothing wrong or right with it. It's just, and there's no doer, so there's no control. There's no one doing it. There's no sin. There's no merit. There's no no rules. It's just wild. It's total freedom, and it's total perfection already. So even if that was happening, it's beautiful. And who knows? It could be the infinite imagination can appear as trolls, can appear as rumors, can appear as, which all that is very literal. It's words on a screen, and no one did it. No one wrote the words on the screen. It's just words on the screen. So there can be a comment on the YouTube that says Muji's, messing around with his disciples, and no one wrote it. No one's even reading it. So it could be a rumor, but it's all infinite information in the imagination. It's not even real anyway. But even in the story, it's total perfection.
Alan Watts also had many partners. Alan Watts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's all perfection, lust, perversion, all of it. It's all God. All God's imagination, not even happening. So, and I loved that he was an alcoholic too. I think that's beautiful. I love it when people bust myths and it's just too obvious that it's all, there is no correlation. There is no rules. And I got really sexual too when I realized there was no me, because then the character was uninhibited. It went wild. It could do whatever it wanted without anyone holding it back. And there wasn't anyone holding it back anyway, but there was like a thought that was restricting, or like a filter, or like a thought that was holding back. So yeah, everything's free. Freer than free can be.
Yeah, I told you the French teacher was saying he saw in an imagination, maybe he saw a crime happening, and he saw clearly that the criminal was God, the victim was God, the knife was God, and the blood also was God.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No separation. And when there's no more looking, that's obvious that it's just still, it's just this, and this is not separate. You can't get outside of what is to be separate. That it's all one. And not even one because it doesn't even exist. It's nothing. It's singular. It's amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful to talk about and think about and read about. And there's still like this character can't help but dig deep all day. That's all she does. It's all she does. That's all I do. And it's fun. And there's nothing to get, but it's still fucking beautiful.
Exactly. What do you do?
Well, it's just
Exactly.
contemplation and revelations all day just happening. That's just, and then writing, and then it's just beautiful. It's like poetry or music or art, or it's just for fun. Nothing to get. There's no control. It just happens. Yeah. Yeah, no seeking, but it's just playfully, I don't know, it's just so beautiful because everything's screaming it, and it's so obvious. It's like a masterpiece and piece of art. Without a creator. Yeah. Yay. That's your bedtime story. Is it like 1:30 your time or something in the
Yeah,
morning?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's great. Wow. Amazing. Thank
Very,
you.
very few people are interested in non-duality. Not many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a lot to me. There's people from all over the world calling me.
Yeah, but in Mauritius, for example, I see only myself on Zoom. I do not see any Mauritian, for example. 1 million people, but I never
Yeah.
saw any Mauritian on any Zoom.
Yeah. When there's an opening, when there's a resonance, just like how the imagination attracts like thoughts, it attracts the thought of non-duality, and then which is just a concept in the imagination. Everything's just a concept. So when there's a resonance, it's like a radio station where it tunes in to the channel. And then it's kind of like the saying, when there's a readiness, the guru shows up. which the guru is everything. There's no person that's a guru, but it's like the message will show up when it's ready. Just like with anything. Kind of like that blue car syndrome where you buy a blue car and then you only see blue cars.
Yeah.
It's like that. So then that's all you hear is the message. And then, it's, so, there isn't everybody because there is no one. There's no world out there. There's no billions of people, but even the concept of, billions of people, no one needs to wake up. Nothing needs to happen. You're God. Everything's God. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't need to wake up from a dream, or it's total perfection, even, with whatever's appearing. So like, there's apparent characters in the imagination that are completely content, with their money and sex and relationships and whatever's they're seeking, and then there's, some apparent characters that something's off, something's not right, something's missing. And then there's the recognition that the money, sex, and relationships don't bring happiness, or not permanent. There's got to be something that's permanent. There's got to be something more to this. And I've noticed that those characters were questioning, even in the story that didn't happen from an early age, were questioning things. We're skeptical. That we're already doing self-inquiry. Like I was trying to figure it out. I knew something was up. I knew something was off. And so, just like Nurse Nisargadatta would say, the earnest seekers it's inevitable, it's like, it's already done. There's nothing to do.
I do not seek enlightenment, but still, I want to do, there is a desire to do, for example, hypnosis, dehypnosis, or a course in yoga, a boot camp in spiritual practices.
Yeah.
Or Yogananda. I want to do Yogananda meditation.
Yeah, you can't, there's no controller, there's no one doing it, it's just happening.
Yeah.
Same here. I do yoga every day. I was trained to be a yoga teacher, I did, and even after seeking stopped, they're still doing yoga every day.
Yeah, and I also want to do a healing by teacher,
Mm-hmm.
non-duality teacher, but she does healing. The healing chakra, DNA activation, healing of ancestors, and removing blockage in the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
She does all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm attracted to this stuff.
Yeah, that's total perfection. Yeah. Whatever's appearing is everything.
Not that Shiva enlightenment, but I don't know why.
Just for fun. Just for
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Yeah, it can be obvious there is no past, there is no time, and there can still be, doing rituals or doing whatever. It's just,
Because I am retired, I have nothing to do. So
yeah. That's fun. That is fun. Yeah. I used to be a healer and it was so fun doing that. Yeah. Nothing's wrong or right about any of it. It's beautiful and there's no choice.
I'm getting sleep now.
Yay. Okay. Good night. I'll tuck you in. Put your blanket on.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay.
Mwah.
Thank you
Yay.
very much. Thank you very much.
Yay. Okay. Talk to you soon, Raj. Yay. See you next time. We'll do next
Okay.
Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you. Bye. Good
Bye.
night.